Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's been an incredible week for crypto. And when I say incredible, I don't mean in the good way, I mean in the worst of ways. We saw last week hundreds of millions of dollars being shaved off crypto. We're now sitting at an entire market cap of about $1.3 trillion. And we're left wondering, what exactly happened? Everything seemed okay. It wasn't a great market. We wouldn't call it a bull market, but it didn't seem like things were so bad. And out of nowhere, we see liquidations in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Not just Bitcoin, not just Ethereum, but almost every crypto out there has completely fallen down. What has happened? What could cause all of this? And what should we do about it? We're going to cover all of this in this video. You don't want to miss this. Share it with a friend. All of this and a whole bunch more coming right up. Hey YouTube, Wes here. So thank you guys so much for joining. We're going to jump into this really negative news, but it's important that we go through these kinds of events when it happens to come to crypto. See, we can't just have crypto being only good news, only going up, only doing amazing things, because if that happens, then it's a bubble. And if there's one thing we've known that is an incontrovertible fact, whether it's in the stock market, whether it's in the commodities world, whether it's in investing in real estate, or even crypto or any other thing, we have swings up, we have swings down. Some are volatile, some happen over a fair amount of time, but unfortunately, there is no perfect world in which something like crypto will only do well. So when these huge corrections happen, these huge crashes happen, it's critical that we take a minute and understand what exactly happened, how we can learn from it, what we should do about it, and lessons learned for our own benefit. So we're going to cover that. We're going to dive into what happened, and we're going to stick specifically to not the only, but one of the market leaders that caused this huge crash, which is the complete market crash, dumpster fire, rocket crash of Luna and Terra. Now, this one hurts my soul because I've been a huge fan of what Luna and Terra have been doing for so long. It's an algorithmic stablecoin, and we'll cover a little bit more about why that's important here in just a minute. But one thing that you need to know is the entire Terra and Luna market crash completely nosedived. And while it may not, and certainly is not the only reason for crypto crashing the way it has, it is one of the major leading movements that caused it to happen. After all, you don't lose tens of billions of dollars, yes, I said a B, in two top 15 cryptos and expect it not to affect the rest of the market. So we're going to dive into that and try to dissect more around this and why a stablecoin crashing down could cause such systemic effects. And I should also disclose this. I was a huge believer in what Terra and Luna were doing. I did a YouTube review, it was one of the very first YouTubers that even did a review of this way back when Luna was trading at just a few dollars, and it was early to market. And I just love the idea of an algorithmic backed stablecoin. And hear me, I actually still don't dislove that idea. I think the future of an algorithmically driven stablecoin is still going to be the future. But unfortunately, Luna and Terra taught us some significant lessons in what not to do in our iteration to what that future crypto may be that is truly algorithmically driven. So I've been a huge fan of it. So seeing it fall down really hurts my soul. It hurts it for so many people that have been involved in crypto and for me personally. And when you go back and look at the entire history of Luna and Terra as a whole, nobody saw this coming. I mean, hear me, nobody. The ability to have an algorithm drive the trades between Luna and Terra to keep the Terra UST stablecoin pegged at $1 is bulletproof, or at least it seemed bulletproof. And in fact, unlike a lot of hacks that we've seen recently, it wasn't even a hack that drove this entire thing to fall apart. The algorithm behaved the way the algorithm was supposed to. It did everything right, at least until it didn't. And when it didn't, we saw a huge, huge crash. So let's talk about that. One of the things that we saw in this entire drive up was a projection of confidence that we see in the stablecoin market. And this is going to get important towards the later part of this video when I talk a little bit more about what regulators are already starting to do with stablecoins. And you need to stay to the end of the video because it's really, really important that we cover this. But you see this projection of confidence. And we saw the Terra and Luna teams start talking about the fact that they had purchased over $10 billion worth of Bitcoin to hold in reserve. And the purpose of that reserve was just to project more confidence to say, hey, look, our stablecoin is doing great. It's staying at $1 because the algorithm is making that happen. It's both burning and minting more Luna and increasing Luna's value to keep the stablecoin of Terra at $1 no matter what. The math is working, but just in case it wouldn't work, we're gonna devote $10 billion in reserves to make sure it stays that way. I mean, that sounded great. Even when I saw that news, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Even further confidence. Now, anybody that sees that would also think, well, the only way those reserves wouldn't be effective is if we saw a market crash of Terra and Luna blow past $10 billion. And that'll never happen, right? Surely that won't happen. Well, fast forward to this week, and it's exactly what happened. And I just need you to understand the significance of this. So when we saw Luna grow as a cryptocurrency, because the algorithm was driving confidence, we saw the combination of UST, which was Terra, the stable coin peg, and Luna combined together to be a market cap of around $50 billion before this crash. In other words, that puts it, as you see right here, around a top 15 crypto. So we see that Luna completely grew in its confidence, in its capabilities, in its user base, in its innovation, and grew and grew and grew and grew until this week. And all of a sudden we see all of this shaved off, and we see it going from about a $50 billion market cap to each being about worth $1.5 billion each, or a $3 billion total market cap. I mean, that's a colossal fall. That is a mountain. It's a boulder falling off a mountain. That is like an early SpaceX rocket completely nosediving and crashing in a fiery ball of an explosion. And it's not good, to say the least. I mean, think about it. All of a sudden, that $10 billion in cash reserves or Bitcoin reserves being stored for an event like this, and yet we see 40 billion that was shaved off. All of a sudden, that $10 billion, it's kind of like bringing, I don't know, a grizzly bear to a UFC fight. That $10 billion is not going to go so far when you have $30 billion of extra negative corrections that simply can't be accounted for. And that's what happened with Terra Luna. Now, there's a lot of reasons this happened. There's a lot of speculation. I saw on Twitter all kinds of crazy stories on what exactly happened. Everything from conspiring to insider trading to governments getting involved. And the truth is, we may never truly and fully know what caused the market to crash the way it did, but we do know the algorithm held true. The algorithm did what it was supposed to do. Nobody hacked it. Nobody exploited that piece of it. But when Luna fell, mighty was its fall. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show this to you. We're going to take a peek at this. What I want to do is I want to bring up both the price of Terra Luna, and we're going to actually take a look and kind of see what happened to the market cap and the crash. So I'm going to switch over here and take a look at this. So we're looking at Terra USD, and notice what happened to the market cap. So we're looking at 3 months over time, but we can even look at a year over time to even get a better picture of just how great this crash was. Guys, you don't see this in the crypto market ever. Nothing like this. Maybe it was some kind of like, poo-poo coin that came out that literally has no value and was a rug pull, sure. But this is a top 15 crypto. So we see the market cap completely growing up to $2 to $3 billion, and we see a huge ramp up all the way up to 6.9 billion, and just complete consistent growth all the way up to about 18.7 billion. And then look at this. This is where the nosedive happens right here. It craters. It goes from 18 billion all the way down in just the short course of, let's just do 7 days so we can really understand this, maybe 1 month. There we go. That's an even better way to see it. You can just see how quickly it crashed down. There were some corrections along the way as the algorithm was trying to handle it. And you see the same thing in the price swings. If we go and look here, you see this pretty much at pegged to $1. It might be a little higher. It might be a little bit lower. And so all this time, the algorithm is handling this by converting Luna, by burning or minting Luna to keep it at the consistent value, to keep it at a peg. But all of a sudden, that peg completely failed. Now, why did it fail? Let's take a look over here at Luna as well. And Luna will give us an example of this. So here's Luna right here. And we can see the same thing happening. If we look at the year to date, or actually let's just do a 1 year, we can see Luna continuing to grow. So this increase in reduction in prices as we're seeing it keep the stable coin at $1. Same thing. It's doing great until we hit somewhere right around this time frame right here, just this short period of time. So if we zoom and look at this short period of time, you can see just how quickly it fell apart. In fact, if we look at the market cap and we go back to, a 1 year, you're going to see the same thing. You see this whole thing just completely fall apart and nosedive. But one of the things I wanted to show you is looking at a very tight window for this, there's a huge spike. You see this spike? This spike comes in right here at the 1 month view. And notice you can see the algorithm almost panicking, trying to make this thing work. So we see all of a sudden the market cap completely going down, and it's going down significantly, right? Like we see it at, 30 billion, and then it begins to crater all the way down to look at that, 200, man, how low does this thing go? $49 million. Do you guys see that? That's insane. We're going from billions of dollars to just 50 million. There's so many crypto projects that are worth more than that. And this is because it lost its peg. The algorithm tried to correct, and in a very short, instantaneous moment, we see it all of a sudden going like a meteor to, look at that, 72 billion. That's insane, guys. Look at this. We can go back to year to date. You're not going to see that anymore. There's that tiny little peak right there. But you can see how it tried to go correct that. It did not work, and it completely fell apart. Now, there's much more analysis that you can do, and there are a lot of good Twitter feed threads that like go into the depths of the algorithm and how it worked. I'm not trying to give you a college level course. I just wanted you to see how both the price nosedived, the market cap nosedived, and even the interplay between Terra and Luna trying to keep it corrected the way the algorithm is supposed to, it just didn't work. And here's, I think, one of the bigger takeaways you really need to think about. I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think Terra and Luna recover from this. I know there's been a lot of efforts by the founders to try to reinstill confidence, but I just don't think it happens. And short of major exchanges like Mt. Gox that I covered in a documentary a while back going under, even though that's not a cryptocurrency, it's a huge platform, we rarely experience the demise of major crypto projects. And I want you to think about that for a minute. If indeed Terra and Luna are dead forever, which I think they are, unfortunately, that is a rare thing. We oftentimes see certain crypto projects really struggle, and they fall down in price, and it might take them 6 months, a year to come back. Or maybe an old school like Litecoin from like 2017 era that was super cool, and it's no longer got the projections of the future like we wished it would, but it also hasn't like completely failed either. It is so exceedingly rare to see a crypto project that's in the top 20 completely nosedive way outside of the top 20 and be dead forever. I think this is the first time we've ever seen that happen. And that's not good. That's not good for the project. It's not good for crypto as a whole. And there's no doubt that when you see $40 billion shaved off from that project alone, it's going to pull the market down with it. Now, let's be clear here. It wasn't just Terra and Luna that destroyed the crypto market. We also see and have seen for a long time that stocks really trade well with crypto. We've always sort of said that crypto is this hedge against stocks and hedge against inflation, but unfortunately, inflation has caused stocks to go down in value and crypto has gone down with it. Like it or not, at least for this period of time in this era of crypto, crypto and stocks follow each other. The investor mindset that's at the macro level of what's happening in crypto is simply this: they follow each other. It may not be that way forever. So I guess I'm just letting you know this. There's multiple reasons crypto has crashed. Terra and Luna for sure were one of the key drivers to it, but the economy as a whole has also driven us towards this. And here's the thing I think is so bad for all of us, and I want you to be aware of this, is unfortunately the timing and the coincidence of this could not have happened at a worse time. See, regulators have been ready to sink their teeth into two things in the crypto market. One, DeFi, and two, even greater, stablecoins. I've been covering this on my channel. If you haven't seen it, go look at some of the historic views, some of my channel videos, and I've been covering probably more than most crypto YouTubers what's been happening in the regulation scene around CFTC, SEC, and several others that are involved in the crypto space, whether a financial crimes perspective, an investment perspective, and we've seen even SEC Chair Gensler say months ago that they were coming after stablecoins, that stablecoins are like the poker chips of crypto. And unfortunately, here's what Luna taught us and really taught the regulators. is it made the regulators look like this weird dark art mix of fortune tellers and some kind of like rocket scientist. See, all of a sudden, Gensler's walking around being like, see, told you so. I knew this was going to happen. I've been predicting this is going to happen. Stablecoins are evil. Stablecoins are the worst thing ever. And it's a threat to the entire market of the United States and the world as a whole. I told you so. I told you so. Truth is, they were lucky. Truth is, it was a horrible timing of events, a coincidence of coincidences that this all happened together. At least that's what I maintain. But here's what's going to happen. Mark my words. Regulators are going to sink their teeth into this and use this as their pariah. Use this as their mounting flag to say crypto, particularly stablecoins, are something we're coming after. Even though stablecoins are awesome because it's a great way to get into and out of a crypto without moving it into fiat, you're going to see regulators come down hard on stablecoins. And I don't know how that's going to play out. We're going to have to wait and see. Where we have like dark stablecoins that come out that are in like dark markets that no one can see, that are completely hidden from a privacy point of view. Will we see them all destroyed together? Will we see them become illegal? Will we see nothing happen other than the government offering their own centrally backed stable coins, but no like teeth in like it being illegal to use one that's out there like, I don't know, Tether or something? We don't know what's going to happen, but I will tell you this. Get ready for a flurry of regulatory activity around stablecoins. This is open to Pandora's box, and it will not be easily closed. Now, as we close, some things you got to know. First of all, I actually look at this and I'm not as downtrodden as a lot of other people are. I've talked to a lot of friends that are really in dark times right now. Several of them had a significant amount of holdings in either Luna or Terra as the stablecoin. And unfortunately for those people, they've lost those funds. They're not coming back. And I know what that's like. I've lost multiple Bitcoins on Mt. Gox and Cryptsy and other places. I know what it's like to lose funds forever. And this loss is different, right? This is not like Bitcoin going from 70,000 to 30,000. We're like, man, that stinks, but I just hold on, it'll go back up. In other words, it's unrealized losses. No, in this case, because I think Luna and Terra are dead forever, in my opinion, those funds are irrevocably and permanently lost, and that hurts. However, the crypto market as a whole is going to be okay. It is. Look at Bitcoin. While it went down, it tested about 28,000 and has so far been trading between 28 and 30,000. Now, I'm not going to get into technical analysis with you because we don't do TA on this channel. The truth is, all YouTubers that do TA, most of them have no idea what they're talking about. But we do know a couple things. We do know that Bitcoin held firm, at least at 28,000. While there's a lot of margin calls that may happen if it gets down to 23,000, we could see it nosedive even further. Some economists think it could go as low as 10,000. At this point, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. In other words, the crypto market will survive. It took a bump, it took a bruise. But the good thing about these fall downs is that we learn from them, is that we understand, well, we've proven that we can survive such a horrible event. And if there's one thing Bitcoin is, it's a survivor. And as a survivor, going through many tumultuous times, many regulatory sort of clampdowns, many technology challenges, even hard forks along the way, Bitcoin has always survived. And if Bitcoin can survive, then many other projects can take that promise as well. Not all, as we've seen with Luna and Terra, but many will survive. So I look at this as an encouragement. I look at this as a good thing. I look at this as we will learn from this, and you will see future algorithmically backed stablecoins that hopefully will learn from the misdeeds of Terra and Luna and not make those mistakes. So what does that mean for you? That means there's hope. That means you got to just chill out and understand things are going to be all right. Please don't be one of those people that want to do something really sad that you would regret forever. Please don't do that. Know that there's hope. Know that if you hold on, know that if you stay the course, things are going to be okay. You just gotta wait it out. How do I know that? I've been in Bitcoin since 2012, so I kind of know what I'm talking about here. A lot of patience goes a really long way. The market goes down, but it will also go up. All right, there you have it. That's what happened, and I want to know what you think. And I would love for you to share this out with your friends so that they can get that same perspective. Leave me a comment down below on what you think. And I haven't even asked you this yet, but here it goes. Would you like and subscribe? That really does go a long way. All right, thank you guys so very much.